How long could you make it without power? A day? A week? An hour? Most people are completely unaware of how dependent we've all become on the power grid. Nearly everything around us depends on one thing: reliable electricity. The lights in our homes, the water coming from our faucets, the gas pumps that keep vehicles moving, our food supply, communication systems, hospitals, banks, stores, and businesses. Almost every part of modern life is connected to a power grid most of us rarely ever think about. When the power stops, it isn't only the lights that go out. Every system that's connected to the grid begins to feel the effects. And right now, the systems we depend on are facing pressure from several directions. Conflicts around the world can disrupt oil, fuel, and international energy markets. Critical infrastructure can become a target. There's a growing demand that continues to put constant pressure on an aging and increasingly complicated electrical system. And beyond human conflict, earthquakes, ice storms, wildfires, and other disasters have not only shown how quickly electricity can disappear, but also how long it can take to be restored. No one knows exactly what tomorrow may bring, but everything happening around us is a reminder that the systems we rely on may be more vulnerable than people realize. So I'm not saying that the world is ending, but this is some of the reasons why my wife and I decided to live off the grid, so that we could be a little less dependent and a lot more resilient to the changes that may be coming. We're not completely self-sufficient, and we still have a long way to go, but every day we're learning how to provide more of the things we need for ourselves. Because preparedness isn't about predicting the future. It's about being ready no matter what the future brings. So why would two young people in their 20s choose to leave the conveniences of modern city life to live out in the middle of nowhere off the grid? Let me tell you. Better yet, let me show you. So behind me, we've got a field of watermelon. This is our watermelon patch. It's doing all right. They could do a lot better. You see some are bigger than others. And so we set up a drip irrigation to ensure we can consistently keep moisture on them. But the irrigation, you're gonna need water. And so our water source, since we're off the grid, we get our water from the creek. And it's been working pretty well for us. As long as we get consistent rain, the creek pretty much stays full. We're able to pump that water from the creek up to our house, our homestead area. We're running some different distribution lines so we can distribute water to different fields, to our animals, to our pastures, and then to our different crop plots. And so we planted all this area in watermelon. We also planted some okra, which the rabbits have practically destroyed. But this is just one of the reasons why we decided to live out here, so that we can know where our food comes from. We can produce our own food. And so watermelon is just one thing, but we've also got some other things going out here. So for us, it wasn't really about going off the grid. It was about becoming less dependent. And so one way of being less dependent is raising our own food. That's just one way. You hear a lot of things about lab-grown meats, GMO foods, pesticides, chemical fertilizers, cancer-causing chemicals, forever chemicals, different things in the food. We don't even know what they are. You can't pronounce half of the ingredients. And you just really don't know what we're eating a lot of the times. And so this is one reason why we decided to raise sheep, because the sheep can be a source of meat for us. And so we've got our sheep. We've got a small flock of about 16 sheep. We're gonna downsize here pretty soon. Once we sell some more of the lambs, and then we're gonna process probably a couple of them, and we'll process those into lamb. And so these are our sheep. We have a mix of American black belly and then painted desert sheep. And so the reason we chose these sheep specifically is, if you see around me, our property is covered in a lot of weeds. It's not really as much grass, but it's more weeds. And so this specific breed of sheep, they do very well at managing the weeds, and they eat the weeds. And so they kind of prefer to eat a mix of weeds and grass. And so one of the weeds, the main ones we have out here, is Cerisa lespedeza, which is a kind of an invasive weed. A lot of people don't like it, but it's actually a natural dewormer for the sheep. And so you can see they're not grazing right now, they're just all resting. They've been eating pretty good today. We just moved them in here today. And so within the next few days to a week, this whole area will be cleared. And which is nice, because we've got a lot of thorns. We got blackberry thorns, we got ragweeds, and different stuff. But as they manage the area, we'll be improving the ecology, we'll be improving the just the land overall in general. We'll be improving the grass quality. So once we remove a lot of these weeds, we're gonna manage the grass so that the grass can grow better. And so it's already starting to come up. You can see a little bit in between. So as we keep knocking the weeds back, the grass will spread out more and more. We let the land rest for a while, so the weeds have really taken off with all the rains we've gotten. And so we brought the sheep back over here. They were on a different part of the property. We brought them back over here so that they can start eating all of this area before the grazing, the growing season ends around October. And yeah, so hopefully by that point we'll have this whole area cleared out. We'll be getting more grass. Our horse Coco, she really likes the grass. We're trying to manage it so that we have more grass. But this is our horse Coco. She's kind of camera shy. But so our sheep are just one source of food. The watermelons is another. We're also growing corn, tomatoes, and just whatever we can, really. We're kind of late this year, still developing our infrastructure. But we're just trying to move closer towards being self-sufficient. We're not completely self-sufficient. And really, I always say it actually will take a community of a lot of people doing these things to really be self-sufficient. But right now it's just us two. And so we're doing what we can. And just one day at a time. And so this is what we're building. We've got our solar setup, or should I say our solar rig. It's kind of a rigged up setup, but this is our solar panels we use. Of course the sun is going down, but at the peak power we pull in about 12 to 1300 watts. Each watt, or each panel, is 320 watts, and these are Renogy panels. We've got them wired up through series, and then it runs to the house over back in there. And so we've got an electrical line that runs to the house, and that's how we get most of our power. On days where it's super hot, like it's been about almost 100 degrees previously, and so those type of days we run the AC. Our AC is not really energy efficient. It uses probably about 800 watts when it's running, and so those days sometimes we'll run the generator if we're not getting enough sun. Luckily today the high was 88, so it really wasn't too hot. We didn't have to run the AC. We got pretty good airflow throughout the house. The way we designed the house, it faces north and south so that the wind can blow in and out the house. And it's a small shotgun style house, so it's pretty easy to heat and cool it with the airflow. But as we further develop our systems, we're trying to move away from having to use gas, having to use generators. We like to either be fully on solar or just more of like manual type power. Even if we can get away from using electricity. Just whatever we can do to be more self-sufficient. And so this is our water storage for the house. It holds about 1,100 gallons. We use 4 IBC totes all connected together using a PVC pipe. Eventually we may downsize the system and have a larger storage outside and just have a smaller storage inside. But we keep it inside. I built this lean-to so that we can insulate it and keep it warm during the winter, keep the pipes from freezing. But it does pretty well. We hold 1,100 gallons, and so we go through that just depending on how much we're using. Either we can use it within 2 weeks or we can use it within a month or two, depending on how much we're irrigating at the time. So right now we're running through a lot of water. We've been irrigating watermelons and different things like that. So we're running through our water. This won't be our main irrigation water storage, but this is our water storage for the house. Once we have our irrigation fully set up, we'll be using some other storage tanks. But this is what we have so far. The water system, it runs into the house. You may hear the pump. Nate's doing the dishes, so you can hear the pump running. But yeah, so we're still working on this. We call it the lean-to, but we're working on the lean-to, extending the house. And so this will be the area. And so this is where we connect our water hose. This is where we run our irrigation and everything currently. But I'll show you, we pump our water from the creek into those tanks, and then those tanks run through a filter. And so we're still working on this, and so it'll be a work in progress. I work on it here and there, but right now we're working on getting the irrigation set up. So this is our irrigation pond, and it holds a lot more than the tanks. I don't know how much, but it can fill up several tanks. And this will be one of our main irrigation sources. Eventually I'll probably extend it around this area. If we've got enough clay, I'm gonna see if I can expand it. It's been holding water very well. It's actually stayed pretty full, shockingly, with how hot and dry it's been. And so this is actually one of the main sources of irrigation. We've been using the house tanks just because it's easier connecting the water hose to the irrigation lines. And so the long-term plan is we're gonna have a mobile watering system, and we're gonna have tanks like this one kind of scattered throughout the property. We'll have tanks, and we'll also have ponds. And so our mobile water system will be able to put our pump into the pond or into the tank, and we'll be able to pump water practically anywhere throughout the property. And so this is our corn plots. So you see our corn has kind of been struggling. It kind of got neglected and then it got beat up by some of the storms. But we're trying to do better with it, add some more fertility. But I added a drip irrigation system, which will help us a lot with consistently adding irrigation. And so you see this drip line, we can run the water hose to it. And so that's how we use it currently. But once I get the pump and everything set up, we'll be using these tanks in the pond. So that way we won't have to run water from the house. We can save that water and utilize the pond water. And so we've also got watermelons down in there. And yeah, we can go look at that. And so some of these watermelon had gotten stunted by the rabbits. And then they were already stunted when we planted them, and then the rabbits kind of finished them off. And so you see we got these small ones. I'm not sure if we're gonna keep on with these ones. We may just work the rows and try to be better prepared for some of the fall crops that we're gonna plant. But this last row did a lot better. They weren't really as stunted as the other ones. We still gotta put mulch on them and fertilize them and everything, but this is just one row on the bottom. It did decently. And so we've also got a sorghum field on the other side of the property. And so I made a video kind of showing all the different crops we're growing. And so you can see that video. I may put a link down in the description or something. So this was gonna be our watermelon patch, but I'm not exactly sure what we're gonna do with it now. Still trying to decide exactly how the layout is gonna be, because I'd like to extend the pond, and I don't know if I'd extend anything over here, or I'll probably end up keeping it up this way. But yeah, so our irrigation system, we haven't had to haul water from anywhere. since we've started using the creek. The creek has stayed with water, and there's also, I believe, several springs in different areas of the property. If we had to, we could try to connect to those. And then we also have a shallow water well, which we will be setting up soon. We just hadn't really prioritized it because of how much water we've had. And so, but that's what this piping is for, is to complete the rest of our irrigation. And then also these pipes are gonna be, hey little rugrat, this is Maya, dirty. So the rest of the pipes will be to distribute water. So we're gonna distribute water from our well over that way to the house. We'll distribute the creek water coming up. We'll be able to fill up any of our tanks from the creek. We'll be able to fill up the tanks on the other side of the property where the sorghum is growing. And yeah, so pretty much we'll be able to get water practically anywhere. That combined with our mobile watering system, it'll be a whole lot easier for us. Right now we've been hand watering before we got the irrigation set up. So it was really tough for us, really just doing too much at once, really. We wanted to try to grow as much as we could, but at the same time we're developing infrastructure and things take a lot of time and work. We're dealing with animals, we had to move them a lot. And so some of our plants struggling, but we still got a good amount. We're doing a whole lot better than we did last year, because we were just starting out last year. And so our goals for next year is we're gonna improve our production. We're developing the infrastructure now so that it'll be a lot easier. Next time, once we harvest, we'll have the irrigation practically set up. We'll just have to lay it back out. And yeah, I think we'll be pretty good to go next year. Having all these things, it costs a lot of money, it takes a lot of time. If you set up irrigation before, you know it's not cheap, especially when you're doing multiple fields, a lot of fields. But we've got about, I think, 500 feet of irrigation here. And then we've got another 400 feet down there. And then we've got probably another 1,000 feet left that we're gonna install in different areas of the property. And so yeah, so just developing the infrastructure now. We're trying to set up now our water storage system. Once we have the distribution set up, we'll be set there. Our solar, if we can combine some more solar panels, or really what we really need is more battery storage. If we could store, right now we have enough storage for about 6,000 watts. If we can store, our goal would be about 15 kilowatts, which is 15,000 watts. That would be more than enough power for us, for all our power needs, for all our tools, the AC units, and pretty much everything, the water, pumping water. We'll be completely pretty much self-sufficient, not having to use gas when it comes to power. And so like I said, we're not completely self-sufficient, and we're still learning every day. We've made a lot of mistakes, we've lost a lot, but we've grown even more. And so that's just a part of it, a part of living off the grid, a part of this kind of lifestyle. A lot of people don't understand really why we might do some of the things we do. But as you start living this kind of lifestyle, you kind of understand why people might do certain things a certain way. You understand that the nature won't really wait for you. But you got to be patient. It takes a lot of hard work. It takes a lot of time. It takes even a lot more money. But it's possible. And so I'm not saying you have to buy a lot of land or you don't have to be completely self-sufficient, but you could start with just one thing, like knowing where your water comes from. How many people know where their water comes from? Maybe even just getting a solar panel. Buying solar just to have a little bit of power if your power goes out. Are you able to cook without power? What are you gonna do about cooling? And so these are some of the things to be thinking about. And I challenge you to take the first step of learning where your water comes from, learning where your food comes from. Even if you just support a local farmer, or just get a solar panel. Maybe try cooking on fire, seeing what that's actually like. Maybe just see what skills you can learn. Maybe just planting something. If you don't have a garden, maybe just get started. But so yeah, I'll ask you one more time, how long can you survive without power? It may not be as long as you think.